Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, January 21st. Okay, so we have the moon in Gemini all day. Of course, we just shifted into this Gemini moon as the sun and Pluto entered into Aquarius energy here yesterday. Pretty big day. Special mention, Mercury, who rules over the Gemini energy that the moon is currently in, Mercury has finally cleared his post-retrograde shadow period. So this is the very first day that we are in new territory. Up until this point, we were just retracing our steps through those very beginning degrees of Capricorn energy that Mercury is currently in. We went retrograde at 8 degrees back in December. And of course, now we are up to that 8th degree. We are passing by that 8th degree. And now we are in new territory where it comes to information, details, perspectives, understanding, basically clarity. And we've been waiting for a very long time to gain the kind of clarity that is definitely going to pressurize our headspace in the days to come. Of course, we're still adjusting to the sun now being in Aquarius energy, to Pluto, of course, shifting into this Aquarius energy as well. And the sun and Pluto are still within orb of each other from that great conjunction at that 29th critical crisis degree in Capricorn energy that they made yesterday. So things are still kind of very intense. They're kind of wish-washy, up and down, back and forth. We haven't really stabilized as of yet. And today there are 7 different aspects, all 7 involving the moon, meaning this is a moon day. This is a day to emotionally refine and define where it is that we're at, what it is that we currently are identifying, that we want, we need, we desire, where it is that certain aha moments are going to start popping together and we're going to percolate on it. Of course, the moon in Gemini, very curious, very much looking outside of ourselves for stimulation, for aha moments. Of course, the Gemini energy needs to kind of observe situations and circumstances in the external realm in order to trigger a thought, an idea, an emotion to judge on whether or not we want to move closer to it, move further away from it, or somehow learn how to integrate these particular aha moments, these ideas, these emotions into our present moment, into the here and now. So we're very curious. We are challenging our thoughts, our emotions. Again, the Gemini energy represented by the twins. We tend to kind of start off in very extreme points, very extreme emotions, extreme ideas, and we debate, go back and forth until we find a common middle ground. So there is a lot to really percolate on. There's a lot to process. There's a lot of pressure in the head because of this. If you haven't listened to this week's Ascension forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so that you understand the physical discomfort that we may be feeling with some of these pressurized energy shifts. So again, 7 different aspects, all 7 involving the moon. Right out of the gate, we have the moon in Gemini energy making a pretty tough aspect with Mercury. Mercury, again, ruler over the Gemini energy, just freed up and cleared this post-retrograde shadow period. Mercury is in Capricorn energy with the tunnel vision goggles on, especially focused on the path, the plan, the strategy that we have to be piecing together in order to understand where it is that we're coming from, where it is that we want to go, and understanding what is required of us in order to actually bring some futuristic long-term goals, visions, and dreams to life. So when the moon is our heart space and Mercury is our head space and they're not getting along, this is a disalignment or an unalignment that we now have to pressurize our emotions or our headspace in order to actually get on the same page and agree. The moon in Gemini, again, constantly looking for new information, new data, new statistics, new reasons of why we should make a change, why it is that we should kind of be piecing together a path and a plan towards a different vision, a different dream, a different goal. The Capricorn energy that Mercury is currently in really doesn't want to open up the mind to anything new, so to speak, because we're still trying to build a strong foundation on the ideas, on the emotions that we know to be true, that we know are supporting us, know that are inspiring us and motivating us to build towards something like this dream, this vision, this goal. So again, it's almost like emotionally speaking, we're looking for something different. But Mercury, of course, having the tunnel vision goggles on in this Capricorn energy, just wants to stay the course, build upon some of the ideas that we already know are a good idea, that our heart and soul is kind of supporting us to pursue. We just want to continue to stay the course. Now, the moon is going to make a tough interaction with Mars shortly thereafter in Capricorn energy as well. And this is going to be a little bit of a tough interaction, mostly because, again, Mars in this Capricorn energy has to make very low, very slow, very calculated, very deliberate actions and moves in order to progress ourselves on the path towards our new goals, visions, and dreams. Mars would prefer to be actually making more moves than we're currently making, but this is about building and cultivating the inspiration, the motivation, the determination needed in order to actually see this particular path through. And so emotionally, we're kind of bouncing around as the Gemini energy does, going from one idea to the next, one emotion to the next. What if this? What if that? What if we could do this better? Yes, we're in Aquarius season, pushing the boundaries of improvement, of strengthening certain areas of our lives, doing better in every area in which we can. However, because Mars is kind of blocked from making the moves and taking the kinds of actions that internally we wish that we could be making right now, there's a little bit of frustration coming up. There's a little bit of agitation. There is this anxiousness, this anticipation that we're not really settling into very well. This restlessness, this ants in our pants type of feeling can definitely put us in some situations where we're having some emotional outbursts, if you will, projecting our restlessness, our anxiousness onto the people around us or out into the external realm in which we're currently in. And of course, this is a good test in order for us to ground out our energies, to anchor that energy in, to give ourselves, our physical body, something to do so that we can channel this restless energy into something productive. The moon is then going to make an awkward interaction with Pluto, the great transformer himself, fresh in this Aquarius energy. This is air-on-air action, but it's not a comfortable air interaction, which means that our mental plane is going to be kind of, I'm going to say, all over the place. It's going to feel very intense. It's going to feel scatterbrained. There is an intensity of a focus, almost borderline obsessing over a certain topic, theme, idea, path, plan, but yet we can't seem to concentrate on it long enough to actually make any kind of progress here. And so, Pluto, we're still kind of adjusting and adapting to this particular energy in Aquarius. We are definitely kind of honing in on the parts that we need to focus in where our emotions and our mental narrative is concerned. We need to be bossing up, need to be empowering ourselves, need to be kind of pushing the boundaries, so to speak. But again, having a hard time kind of staying the path or staying on topic, staying on theme. The lack of concentration kind of has us a little bit more anxious, a little bit more jumbled than we would prefer, than we would actually like to be. The moon is then going to sextile, beautiful interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer, in this Aries energy. I love this because it means that there is a certain amount of growth. There's a certain amount of progress that we are making, albeit very slow and low progress and growth, making within ourselves. Again, the identity that we are now anchoring in, the version of ourselves that we're now working with, it's still very unfamiliar. We're still trying to get comfortable in this new arena of perspective, of passion, of dreams, of wants, of needs, of desires. There is this, I'm going to say, perspective, because again, the mental energy constantly challenging our perception and perspective in this Gemini energy, really pushing us to see ourselves from a different set of eyes. And this is kind of motivating us. It's kind of getting our heart and our head on the same page, especially with how it is that we're feeling about ourselves, pushing the boundaries of this new version of self with what it is that we want to do from here. The moon is then going to interact with the sun in a not so comfortable way. Again, this is air on air action. The moon is in Gemini energy, a mutable air sign. The sun in Aquarius energy, a fixed air sign. So air on air means that there's a lot of intellectual thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of mental processing, a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that we're trying to sort through, that we're trying to process, that we're even trying to obtain at this point in time. Because again, we don't have the full picture clarity clarity like we would like. Anytime that the moon and the sun are coming together in any kind of interaction, whether it is a harmonious one or a tension-filled one, what it is going to do is illuminate a new level of awareness, a new aha moment, a new realization, if you will, on what it is that we want, need, and desire to feel safe, secure, stable, sure in ourselves, in the path, in the plan that we are currently trying to piece together. The moon is then going to make a positive interaction with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener who is retrograde in Taurus energy. Uranus is now in his rulership now that we are in this Aquarius season. And, you know, the great awakener likes to shock us, likes to awe us. There's an aha moment. There's an epiphany. There's some clarity that comes out of a positive interaction. And emotionally speaking, it feels like this could possibly be the breakthrough energy that we have all been waiting for. Of course, we've been sitting in the breakdown energy all throughout Capricorn season. It was very heavy, very weighted. We had to pick ourselves apart. We had to sit in the funk. We really had to unpack a lot of the, I'm going to say, situations and circumstances that have already kind of unfolded for us and what that means for us as far as the path, the plan, the strategy goes in moving forward. So of course, we have an open heart, we have an open mind, we are definitely tapping into new perspectives, new understandings. There is information and details that are now starting to pop and click together that's illuminating for us a totally different perspective on how things kind of transpired in the past, how it kind of led to this present moment, and what it is trying to prepare us for as far as moving forward goes. This is definitely opening us up, understanding that we do have to make a change, that we do have to take a calculated risk in order to make those particular changes. And overall, this is a good feeling of understanding that, guess what? We don't feel so heavy, so weighted. We still might not know what the future holds, what the path actually looks like, but we're a lot more positive, a lot more optimistic, a lot more open to doing things differently in order to get a different outcome. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in this Gemini energy sextiling, beautiful interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. This is a beautiful thing because we're starting to realize mentally and emotionally where it is that we're stepping into a new role, a new responsibility, a new mission, a new purpose, so to speak. This is, again, the North Node in Aries trying to get us on the right path for our soul's next mission, our soul's peak potential. And because the moon in Gemini is open-minded, open-hearted, especially with challenging ourselves to do something different, again, mutable air energy, we are definitely starting to piece together the possibilities, the opportunities that we are now standing before that essentially are revealing to us what this next chapter is going to look like, what the goal is, what the vision is, what the dream is. And it's fulfilling us in a way where we're actually excited, inspired, and motivated to kind of get the party started. So it is definitely a good vibe to be ending off the day with, because we do have a sense of knowing. And again, we are in Aquarius season. That sense of knowing is only going to intensify the deeper that we get into Aquarius energy.